News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
A pesky critter is invading Kansas fields. What you can do to protect your property. Plus, ag innovation, expert insights, and big-time networking coming to Wichita soon. We'll sit down with K-State's Dr. Jason Warner to chat about the can't-miss event, bringing it all together. Good evening and welcome into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. The challenge of rebuilding what was lost in the floods in central Texas is almost unimaginable. So we decided to revisit a family who lost their home in a flood a year ago. They live in South Dakota on a farm, and they spent the past year picking up the pieces. Jonah Kaplan has their story.
These lush green fields outside Sioux City, Iowa, show no signs of last summer's storm surge. Historic flooding that turned Dave and Judy Oberg's home into the kind of waterfront property nobody wants. We were with them knee-deep in a massive cleanup.
You're going to lose furniture, you're going to lose appliances, but with this house, you're losing a piece of yourself.
That's right. It'll never be the same. I've lived in this house my whole life.
A year later, they've got a new house in a new spot.
The main floor of the house is about 10 feet higher than that driveway right there.
The Obergs didn't have flood insurance and didn't get help from the government either. So to dig out, they had to dig into their savings and sell off more than a third of their farmland. To afford the house, they looked to Sioux City's Career Academy High School, where students build 2 ready-to-deliver homes every year. One went to Habitat for Humanity. The Obergs bid on the other last July and won.
It took a lot of work to get here, probably a lot of stress too.
Still have nightmares sometimes, especially when it rains. People say to me, "Oh, aren't you so happy that you have this new house?" Because they don't understand that my kids grew up there, I grew up there, and all those memories are never going to be back.
And the frustration I think that we went through was that first initial shock of, okay, what are we going to do? Luckily, we found this house, and then the work started.
Farmers pray for rain, but 18 inches in 2 days? That's more of a curse than a blessing. Meteorologist Eric Hunt at the University of Nebraska now worries about what he calls whiplash weather caused by climate change.
We had almost a year's worth of rain in 2 months in some cases. By October, they were in severe drought because it quit raining for most of the next 3 months.
So forget about the idea of maybe you have one hot summer, one wet summer, and then another dry one. You're saying all that happens in a matter of weeks?
In some cases, yes.
Kenny Sheikwood is the Oberg's nephew. The floods wiped out the family's 3,000 acres of corn and soybeans. He replanted when it dried out enough, and he considers himself lucky to have salvaged a third of the usual crop, but it came at a cost.
Irrigation systems, ditches, any infrastructure that exists in this field was basically replaced on our own dime. There was no help for that stuff.
For now, though, Mother Nature appears to be giving back.
A year ago, there was nothing here. It was just barren, flood damaged, and now look at it. We've got chest-high corn. It's just a beautiful, look at the view.
A view that Dave and Judy Oberg will never take for granted.
You have to look to the future. You got to leave it in the past. You got to go forward. That's what life's about.
Relying on faith to face a storm of uncertainty. For Eye on America, I'm Jonah Kaplan in Jefferson, South Dakota.
A new warning for homeowners. Experts say the lawn-killing insects known as armyworms were recently found in West Wichita. The Kansas State Research and Extension Office in Sedgwick County says the fall armyworm caterpillars are often found in agricultural fields, but another food source is tall fescue lawns. Roman Campa talked with the Lawn Care Service about what you need to know when it comes to armyworms.
They're called armyworms because they come by the thousands when they come.
A problem for many homeowners in Kansas,
and cause devastation to your lawn quickly,
was recently spotted in Sedgwick County.
I had at least one of my customers and one of my suppliers call to let me know, hey, they've been noticed on the west side of Wichita.
Scott Shea is the owner of Wichita Pest Controls. He remembers an outbreak of armyworms happening a few years ago and says it might happen again soon.
So I asked around to our suppliers, come to find out that in Oklahoma, they're extremely bad right now, and they're migrating this way.
He says the easiest way to spot armyworms is just by looking at your lawn.
Armyworms will eat your grass all the way down to the ground.
And looking for any brown patches near your home.
And if you see brown patches in your lawn, I would start to investigate closely. Within 2 to 3 days, it can go from looking healthy to severe devastation of your lawn.
But what's the difference between armyworms and regular caterpillars?
So the caterpillars can be identified in several ways. Typically they're a darkish color, varying from a green to a blackened color as they age, but usually there's a lighter colored stripe along the side. You can also look at the back end of the caterpillar, and on the top you should be able to see 4 distinct black dots.
You can prevent or get rid of armyworms by using insecticides or calling a lawn care service company to spray your yard. In Wichita, Roman Campa, 12 News.
Still ahead on Eye on Agriculture, the art of landscaping and its impact on solar farming.